Good afternoon, members of the press, media. We are here today on the 21st of February, which is the anniversary of the assassination of Malcolm X. The name is familiar to people all over the globe, and his death, his assassination, was something that impacted many people, both in America, around the world, and in Bermuda. He was an inspiration to the local community, and out of that inspiration came a variety of organizations, including the Nation of Islam and the Black Beret Cadre. And we happen to be here at the Jamaican Consulate. We thank them for allowing us to use the space. We're right across from the building, the Bassett building, that actually accommodated both of the organizations. Now, when it comes to Brother Malcolm, it's not about organizations per se. He was the icon of a movement of people around the world. He evolved over a period of time. And we're using this opportunity, there's some sadness in the opportunity, but what we would like to do is to make a call out to those in our community, especially those young people that are caught in the cycle of violence. We do this out of an expression of love for them and our whole community. And it's that love that I think, when one distills the contributions of people like Malcolm, that motivated him to overcome those circumstances that he had to go through, but also had him as an icon that lives today in the hearts and minds of lots of people, as I said, in various parts of the world. And we believe that the challenges that we have with reference to our young people, that cycle of violence, of course, it's not just germane to Bermuda. It's something that is happening around the world, and it's global in perspective, and we recognize the need for us to be global in our approach to bring about the changes that are needed. Our message out to those young people perhaps is summarized by the 20th century poet Robert Nesta Marley, who just says, "Come in from the cold, come in from the cold." And that message, of course, is done in love. That message is done in a sense of concern for their welfare, because they are precious. They are also precious, as are those people who are victims of violence. But in addition, their contribution, their possible contribution to this community, is the formula that we need as we work together. And everybody's contribution is so vital. And we want to stand here today using this anniversary, which, as I said, is a mixture of sadness and also a sense of hope is trapped in there. We are encouraging them to come in, and we ask the rest of the community, all of the community, in fact, let's work together to, in solidarity, to ensure that these people that are on the wrong track right now, and on that issue of the wrong track, we all make mistakes. Mm-hmm. That's the reality right here amongst us. We know, I mean, I don't know what the total years is amongst the group right here. That's a lot of years. But we all make mistakes. That's the nature of being human. And we want those brothers and sisters that are trapped in that cycle out there to know that your mistake is not what defines you. And we welcome them.
Yes.
I don't know if anybody else wants to just contribute just some.
Yeah, you said wrong track. I know what you're saying.
Right.
I would like to say a difficult track, because Malcolm was born out of the unhappiness of what he saw in his community. And he gave his life to want to change the conditions that was responsible for the difficulties that his community was in. And I believe that this idea of us coming here together today is an extension of remembering that legacy and wanting the young people who we feel hurt for right now, because I'm outraged to know that the loss of life, unnecessary loss of life, has gone this far in Bermuda. And I want them to understand that we're here And if it's anything that they need to feel is that we're concerned and we want to make a difference and we want to help. So rather than thinking that they come to us, we want them to know that we want to be with them. And whatever we have to do, we are going to do it because we're not going to stop until the difficulty has been removed.
Let me just tell you, we'll just introduce ourselves.
Leon Millett, former Black Parade.
Irving Ingram, former Beret.
Glenn Pabla, North Shore Boy, and former Beret.
Chrome Shakir, former Nation of Islam member, and now a member of the Masjid Muhammad Bermuda.
Dale Butler.
Norwood Salam, former Black Beret as well, but member of the Muslim community in Bermuda.
Kelvin Richardson, former Black Parade.
Any questions?
Yeah, sure, I have a question. As you are issuing this appeal on the anniversary of Malcolm X's assassination, do you think that there are lessons that Bermuda's youth can learn from Malcolm X when they are faced with adversity?
Well, Malcolm's life, his life was actually a story, and we encouraged those young people to there are a variety of books out on Malcolm. One that actually perhaps shaped a lot of us was his original autobiography, which was helped by, what was his name?
Alex Haley.
Alex Haley, right, helped him in that first but there are a number of other, and I think what we're encouraging people to do is not just look at Malcolm in sort of like his iconic form, but recognize that he did make some deep mistakes like all of us make.
Yes.
And when one explores his life, when we really dig down deeply, there's a new biography that I had this past year, I can't remember the name, but it's written by a father and daughter. And it goes very deep. They talked a lot to his family. A lot of the previous biographies didn't really get into with the family. And you see the journey that he is on. You'll see in the press release there that when he was young, his father was around, but his father got killed when he was just 6. His father was a leader in the community, in the St. Louis community, and there was some suspicious circumstances about his dad. And then a set of circumstances happened where the family just sort of came apart, and Malcolm, who was the brilliant student in an integrated school, incidentally. He was the top student up to the time he was like 13, 14. And then eventually he got caught up and he left school and got involved in a life of crime. So reflecting on the mistakes that Malcolm made, but notwithstanding, when he went to prison, he was first mentored by an elder prisoner who had a love for reading, and that was something that Malcolm had, the seeds were already in him because his mother and his father used to encourage his reading. And he then took on his own life, he took in charge of his own life after getting away from the culture that he had been caught up in. And so when they examine that life, I'm gonna tell you, they will understand that wherever they are right now, wherever they are, it's always an opportunity to come forward and change and be changed, and to help to change our society.
You know, when I think about the comprehensive coverage that Grant has given, I look at the similarities that we need to point out to our young people. Malcolm was feeling hurt as a young person. Young people don't understand, like, they grow and evolve. He was surviving, and his life showed that his experiences, his circumstances, as he grew, his contributions also grew. And as he got better to understand, he then participated better. And his life is an example of when we get to understand life and we want to do better, we can do better. So that's what we would like to have our young people to understand. We don't see them as a problem. They may have some misunderstandings. And what the world is offering them right now is not much help. So we need them to see us and try to understand that they are natural just like us, human just like us. We're there to help them to get through these most difficult times that finds them to be so caught up and without help. Malcolm got help. We want to help our young people.
Any other questions?
And can you speak on the ways in which you're hoping to help Bermuda's youth?
Well, this is a symbolic coming together. All of us here are involved in a variety of activities in neighborhoods. Irvin here is very active in North Village neighborhood. Myself, I'm involved in a variety of things. You get tired of seeing me. But one of the important things I find is what we're doing at Westgate. It's just a group of us beyond this group who go to Westgate on a monthly basis. We have what we call the Personal Empowerment Circle. And that actually last Tuesday, a week before this, we do it a monthly. Last week happened to be the day, and we did the topic was about Malcolm, and that that opportunity to get them to just share, and as we tell them, as Kwame was making the point, is that when we go there, those of us who go, our main thesis is that we're no different from you. We're no different from you. Most of them that are in our groups, they haven't been convicted of murders. But we say, look, we're no different from you. And we remind them that, for instance, in the Bible, that there are several heroes in the Bible who were murderers. But they didn't just stay there. They went on and were transforming themselves and made, contributions that are captured in biblical stories. So there's a whole variety of things, and not just amongst ourselves, but many people working across the community. And what we're saying, though, is that if we can do much more collaboration, I think that's a key to this whole thing, is that we happen to have been in an organization and we're in another organization, but this requires a movement, as Malcolm is the symbol of. A movement where we get beyond those walls, those barriers, etc. We're here using the Jamaican consulate, So that's what it's all about. Is let's work together.
Thank you.
Okay.
Excellent. Thank you very much.